broad stride and bright stars through a pale of fire. For the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming. And rockets breaking above singing,
It is Super Bowl Sunday. Welcome to episode 71 of Uncaged Sports Talk. The topic is this video. It writes itself. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Like, what else is there to talk about with the birds in the bowl today? I'm excited. While I had that national anthem video that I took at the Super Bowl, at Super Bowl 57 2 years ago, between the two teams that are playing today, while that Chris Stapleton national anthem was playing, it gave me chills. Like, I could feel the chills on the back of my neck. Like, I wish I could be in New Orleans. Like, I don't care that they lost last time. I cared now because I want them to get their revenge. And I want that parade that we should have had last time. But, like, it still gave me chills knowing that I was there. And that it's a rematch, and we get a chance for revenge to get that parade that we deserved, to get that parade that we should have had 2 years ago. We get that. We'll have that. Hopefully, have that parade on Friday. Now, I am nervous. I'm more nervous than I was last time. The Chiefs just always seem to pull shit out of their out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure I can actually say ass, but they always just seem to pull shit out of nowhere. And I can't say shit. Why am I saying that? Stop. Cut the video. Now we'll keep rolling. It's YouTube. It's not like the FCC is going to crack down on me. But it gave me chills. I'm ready for Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if you guys are. If you are listening and watching this before the game, please drop your score predictions in the comments. Before we get into mine and my parlay for Sunday, I'm going to go over my player over-unders and make my predictions. I'm just going to use my phone and look at the betting lines, and I'll read them off to you. I'm not betting all these. I'm just saying like who I would pick. So for passing yards, Jalen Hurts over-unders 199.5. I'm smashing that. You'll see a reason later in the video. I'm smashing it. Jalen Hurts, I think, it balls out in this game. He balled out in the last Super Bowl between these two teams. I think Jalen Hurts easily gets 200 yards. I think he clears out by another 20 plus. Jalen Hurts is getting 200 plus yards easily. Especially because if we're going to win this, if the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, it's going to have to look like that Steelers game. The Steelers are going to crack down on stopping, the Chiefs are going to crack down on stopping Saquon Barkley. But go ahead, do it. If anyone remembers that Steelers game, Jalen Hurts in the offense was criticized the entire week after the Eagles almost lost to the Panthers. What happened that week? The Steelers tried to shut down Saquon, dared Jalen Hurts to beat him. Okay. You leave Goddard one-on-one. You leave AJ one-on-one. And you leave Devontae one-on-one. Go ahead. Stop Saquon. Let's see how far that gets you. And you can stop him here and there. Like he'll break off. I think he'll break off a run. But even if you stop him, go ahead. Stack the box. Try to stop him. Focus on him. Jalen Hurts will beat you. As much hate as that man gets, Jalen Hurts will beat you if you give him the chance. And I think he's going to get the chance to do it. And I think if Eagles win, Hurts is 1,000% getting that Super Bowl MVP. Like, no doubt in my mind. Patrick Mahomes over under is 249.5. You see with that one, I'd actually take the under. I think Mahomes has a good day passing, but their offense has struggled throughout the year at points. And last time in this, the Chiefs had a heavy dose of the run game. I think Mahomes had under 200 passing yards. I don't see him getting an extra 60 passing yards this time. I think he has the under 249.5. I could see him breaking off some runs. I'll go over those in a minute. But yeah, I think Mahomes has under 249.5 in this game. Trying to scroll. And the Eagles defense, I think, stifles Mahomes. I'm trying to give me 1 second, trying to get this to register. Now for player rushing yards. Saquon's over-under is 112.5. As much as you Eagles fans hate that I'm going to say this, all the Eagles fans any Eagles fans listening to this are going to hate that I'm saying this. But I think Saquon goes under 112.5. I don't think he breaks 100. As good as he's played all year, I don't think he breaks 100 rushing yards. He might break 100 something total, including receiving, but he's not breaking 100 rushing yards. The Chiefs are going to make sure of it. They're going to dare Jalen Hurts to beat him, and I think Jalen's going to be ready for that task in today's game. So I would take the under 112.5. For Kareem Hunt of the Chiefs, it's 43.5. Kareem Hunt's been playing good in these playoffs to get the majority of the touches last time. I would take the under because I think the Chiefs are type of team to ride the hot hand. And you'll see my explanation in a second. I don't think Kareem Hunt's going to be the hot hand in this game, and you'll know why in a second. Jalen Hurts over under is 37.5. That's a tricky number. That is a tricky number. I'm trying to think. My total prediction for him. I would go just under. I think 37.5 is a perfect number for Jalen Hurts in this game. I think he gets just under that. I think he gets like 30. I would take under 37.5 rushing yards for Jalen Hurts. For Patrick Mahomes, his over-under is 27.5. I actually would take that from Mahomes. I think he gets about 30 as well. The thing with Mahomes is he doesn't always run. But when he does, he breaks off like 15-yard chunks. Like he'll run 3 times in the game and he'll break off an 8-yard chunk, a 12-yard chunk, and another 12-yard chunk. There's just 30. There's just 27.5. Then another rushing prop, Isaiah Pacheco is 24.5. Or no, 20.5. 20.5 for Isaiah Pacheco. This is why I would take the under on Kareem Hunt. I would take the over on Isaiah Pacheco here in this spot because I think he'll be the hot hand early on. The one thing I've noticed the last 2 times we've played the Chiefs with Isaiah Pacheco there, Isaiah Pacheco dices up the Eagles, like runs all over the Eagles. Just his running style, he just like bounces up right up. It's demoralizing to a defense. And he had success last year when the Eagles played in Kansas City. I'll pull up those stats real quick to read off some of them. Everyone knows the Super Bowl stats. Isaiah Pacheco had a really good game that week, that game. One of the reasons they won. But Eagles Chiefs 2023 regular season. Typing it in. Eagles won 21-17. Mahomes had under 200 yards, but Isaiah Pacheco on 19 carries had 89 yards. Nothing outstanding, actually. But just watching him, it seems like he always gets like holes against the Eagles and just runs all over the Eagles. I would take the over 20.5 for Isaiah Pacheco. Now for some other picks. I'm going to go to the other ones. Give me 1 second. Pulling them up right now. I want to let me pick that shit. There's bets on the tush push. That's actually funny. I'm not trying to do specials. Oh, there we go. All right. So, some other bets you can do. I'm not going to look at rushing and receiving. I'm just going to go over all the receiving props. Saquon Barkley over 12.5 yards. I feel like this always seems light, like a light number for Saquon. Also, back to the Saquon thing, I think Saquon gets like 80 yards on the day rushing. 12.5. You see, I think they hit him on the backfield on a swing pass, and he breaks one of those for a good-sized run. I would take Saquon Barkley over 12.5. A.J. Brown's over-under is 69.5. This is another tricky one. It's very tricky. Like, I don't think he's going to be the highest targeted receiver on the Eagles on Sunday. I think Devontae Smith dominates against the Chiefs, and in big games, Devontae dominates. I think he dominates. We'll get to him in a second. Yeah, I think the over 69.5 on A.J. Brown. I think one reception gets him close. And the Eagles always seem to hit a big chunk play to A.J. Brown. Give me the over 69.5 on A.J. Brown. On Hollywood Brown, it's 39.5. I would take the under on Hollywood Brown on 39.5. Dallas Goedert, 51.5. Chiefs struggle somewhat against tight ends. I'm not the biggest Goddard fan. You all know that. He started to prove me wrong recently. But you all know I'm not the biggest Goddard fan as much as other Eagles fans. I'm actually going to go over 51.5 for Goddard. I'm using up a lot of the receiving yards for Hurts, but 51.5 for him. Yeah. I think he squeaks just about over that. I could see like 55, 58, 60. Noah Gray, over 11.5. Eagles struggled with Zach Ertz mightily last week, in the NFC title game, who had 11 receptions, 10 yards. I would take the Noah Gray over 11.5 in this spot. I like that pick. What pick did I just mess up on here? I had the parlay. I'll look at it in a second. I accidentally took it off on my phone. Oh, I see. One of the other picks I like, I think Noah Gray gets a catch against the Eagles. It's one catch. 11.5 yards is one catch. Speaking of 11.5 yards, I like DeAndre Hopkins over 11.5. He's had great success against the Eagles in his career. Granted, he's not the same DeAndre Hopkins, not nearly the same DeAndre Hopkins, but 11.5 is one catch. One catch, and he gets that number. I would take DeAndre Hopkins over 11.5 all day long. Kareem Hunt over under 6.5. I would take the under. Kareem Hunt doesn't really get catches out of the backfield. Travis Kelce over 60.5. I would take Travis Kelce over 60.5. Could be one of his last games ever. Who knows? If the Chiefs get that Chief Pete, I'm not gonna say the word that starts with a 3 and ends in Pete because I know that's trademarked. I'm not saying it. I don't want to get a copy or whatever. I wouldn't, but I don't want to do it. I think I'm allowed to say it, but we'll just err on the side of caution. I think if they win that, I could see Kelsey retiring. Who knows? Over 60.5, I think Kelsey has a good day, especially what I said with the Noah Gray thing. It was Zach Ertz last game. I would take Kelsey over 60.5. I would not touch Isaiah Pacheco's rushing. It's 4.5. I still wouldn't touch it. Actually, yeah, I'm touching it. It's no, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching that. They'll just do their like wide receiver screens to Hollywood or Xavier Worthy. Samaje Perine over under 7.5. Someone's got to get a catch out of the backfield. I would actually take Samaje Perine 7.5 for one of those receptions out of the backfield. I would take the over 7.5. Devontae Smith total is 50.5. I'm smashing that all day long. I could see him having a big 100-yard day. So give me Devontae Smith over 50.5. Big game, Smitty. Juju, 17.5 yards. I think Juju gets locked up. Like, I think we look at the stat line and Eagles fans are laughing at the end because Juju has like a big drop or something. That would be sweet. I'll take the Juju under 17.5 because bad Juju's coming back to haunt Juju Smith-Schuster. Xavier Worthy, 55.5 is his total. I'm taking the. I would take the over on Xavier Worthy. That's their number one receiver currently. That and Travis Kelce. I think Xavier Worthy, it takes 3 plays for Xavier Worthy to hit 55.5. Give me that. Now I'm going to look at the reception lines. Saquon over 1.5 receptions. I would take the under. A.J. Brown, 5.5. I would take the under. I think it's like 4. Hollywood Brown, 3.5. I'd take the over. I'd take the over with the wide receiver screens. Dallas Goedert, 4.5. I take the under. I think like 4 receptions for Goddard. Noah Gray, 1.5. I take the over. I could see him pulling in 2 receptions. D-Hop, 1.5. I personally would take the over here. Over on that one. Travis Kelce could get it at 5.5 or 6 or 6.5. It's about the same. So like 6. I wouldn't touch that one if it's because it's basically 6 flat. I wouldn't touch that. So I'd err on the side of caution with that one. Devontae Smith over under 4.5. If you had to pick one of those, I'll say it looks like 5.5 is the most like even number there on Travis Kelce. I would take the over 5.5 for Travis Kelce if I had to. Devontae Smith, 4.5. I'm smashing that all day long. I would take over for Devontae Smith. I think he gets like 6 receptions. Juju Smith-Schuster, 1 reception if that. His over-under is 1.5, so I take the under. And Xavier Worthy, 5.5. I would go under. I think 5 is the perfect number for Xavier Worthy in this spot. I would take the under on Xavier Worthy. Now, for my official Super Bowl 59 prediction. Drum roll, please. No, you can't hear that. It's not coming through the mic. I was like banging on my laptop for a second. I'm pulling up the Google Slide. My official Super Bowl 59 prediction. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading. The Eagles knock off the Chiefs and stop the Chief Pete to get the Eagles get their second Super Bowl in 7 seasons with 2 different head coaches, 2 different QBs, solidifying a Hall of Fame resume for Howie Roseman, solidifying Jalen Hurts as a top 5 QB because he has one of the best resumes in all of the NFL if he wins, and best Eagles QB of all time, solidifying Nick Sirianni as the best Eagles head coach of all time, beating the second best Eagles head coach of all time. The Eagles win 30-24 with Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts. Because, like I said, I think if you win the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts is going to be the catalyst. Because the Chiefs are going to focus on stopping Saquon and force Jalen to throw. I think total stat wise, I think Jalen Hurts gets 265 total, like 235 passing, 30 rushing. He gets 2 touchdowns, one as a tush push, 1 passing touchdown. And then for my Super Bowl parlay, I've been doing a parlay this week, 1 pick each day. It started on Monday. My 7 picks are right here. I'll go over the honorable mentions first. I have some honorable mentions. I did a bet before actually, I'll just flip to the page. So if you look at the honorable mentions side of stuff, I did a bet before the NFC Championship game. You can't get it. You cannot get it at the 125-1 price. It was 100-1 for Jalen Carter MVP. I could see a path because I think there's only 3 likely guys on the Eagles. Saquon, which I don't really think is that likely. There's a chance, but I think Hurts is number 1. Then Saquon's probably 2, but Carter's right behind Saquon in my opinion in likelihood of Eagles Super Bowl MVPs. 3 sacks and a forced fumble, 2 sacks, forced fumble, 2 tackles for loss. I like and I had a 25% profit boost, so I got it at 125-1. I put $6 or $5 down to win 625. That was a bet I liked that I did. It's now down to 50-1 after the Eagles won the NFC title game. Another bet I saw you can do on FanDuel or DraftKings. I was looking at all the potential odd, like exact scores you can do, and scrolled all the way to the bottom, like the furthest odds you can do. I like 190-1. I think 190-1 is a great bet. Not a great bet, but like for the value. 34-23 Eagles, I could see that all day long. Like Eagles going a long drive. Saquon punches a touchdown in to put the game away with like a minute and a half left on the clock to put the Eagles up 34-23. I could see that happening. So if you live in the state of Pennsylvania or feel like driving to Pennsylvania, go ahead, throw $5 on that. That's a big hit. Go ahead, throw $10 on it. That's $1,900 for one. $1,900 if you hit that, and you're happy as all hell. Now for my Super Bowl parlay, it's 50-1. I made my final pick right now. I like Devontae Smith over 74.5 receiving yards. I already went over him. He just demolishes the Chiefs. His career numbers against the Chiefs are outstanding. And in big games, even dating back to college, he dominated in the national championship game at Alabama. Devontae Smith over 74.5. Lock it in. Jalen Hurts over 219.5. Lock it in. I think Jalen Hurts has a big day. I think he is going to be your Super Bowl MVP, most likely. Give me the over 219.5 all day long. And these are all alt lines. DeAndre, most of them are alt lines. DeAndre Hopkins, over 11.5 reception yards. I think DeAndre Hopkins gets that. I think if the Chiefs win, I could see DeAndre Hopkins being like a hero, like an unsung hero for the Chiefs in this one. I like the Travis Kelce. I did an outline of Travis Kelce over 49.5. Like I said with the Zach Ertz thing, they let Zach Ertz get 100 yards on him. I think Travis Kelce goes for a big day against the Eagles, close to maybe 75 yards or so. Maybe more. Maybe close to the 100-yard mark. I like a Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. I think he punches one in like it's his birthday. Also, happy birthday, Cooper DeJean. Happy birthday, Saquon Barkley. Go bring home a bowl to Philadelphia, and you can celebrate a parade on Friday. Celebrate your birthday with the entire city of Philadelphia. So I think Saquon Barkley punches one in now on Sunday. Jalen Hurts, I think, punches one in. I think the tush push is bound to happen in this game once for a touchdown. Jalen Hurts gets a touchdown. And then Eagles, money line. I think Eagles are winning this game. I've been nervous all week, but I've talked myself into it the last few days. I think that's an excitement as well. So there's a little bias coming out of it. But all those parlays, props, I would still take them. I think there's a good chance they all hit. I'm excited. I know you all are excited. Now, I'll end this video. Let you all get ready for Super Bowl 59 on Fox. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on all of our platforms. It is greatly appreciated. And let's go, Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. EAGLES. Eagles. Tuning out. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully, I see you all on Friday in South Philly in front of the Art Museum.
I'm videoing it. Come on. Oh,